All right. The idea is that I want to do a little bit of a demo for you guys so you can see how the Pochade Palette works. We're here in New Salem at the museum, and I'm going to walk around a bit the garden just to get a sense of, like, I don't know what composition I want to paint right now. We have this urn that has some nasturtium in it. That could be a possibility. The broccoli and the Queen Anne's lace are in different areas. These big shapes, I kind of like that. There's some construction going on in the background. The lavender. Oh, the lavender with all the bees and the wood in back is kind of cool. So maybe I could do that. There's the fence. Over here, this is cabbage. These are really pretty. Should I paint the cabbage? Maybe you could sit here and I could just do that. That might work. Yeah, I think I'm gonna paint the cabbage. All right. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the paper towel yet, but that's so inside of the medium jar we have Miracle Medium. And that's screwed on so it doesn't spill over. We have our brushes. On the back side of this, we have the brush pocket, and that's holding the brushes in. So sometimes I like to clip the paper towel instead of holding on to it. But I'm going to start, because of the composition, I'm going to start with it down below. And I just grab it with my fingers and just tuck it underneath there. All right, so we'll grab a big brush. And so the sun is right above us. And for the most part, there's some kind of like raking light from the back and then a lot of transmitted light. So we have the shadows and the stone. So the shadow of the dirt, the stone, the shadows in the cabbage. So like in these areas, that's shadow in the cabbage. And then this is transmitted light. When it's transmitted light, you can see that the light passes through it. You can see here that they're like veins. So the red shows up in the veins, the green, but then down here it doesn't. It's just an ambient kind of violet.
Are you using paper?
No, this is a PVC panel. That's what I use for sketching. And it's got magnets here that hold it. All right, so let's jump into it. Because there's this blue kind of violet vibe, I'm actually gonna grab some blues and violets to kind of push me in that direction. And then in the background, there's tomatoes that are not fully ripe yet. And what is that dark violet plant over there, Nelly?
Holy basil.
Oh, it's a basil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Then beyond that, we have the rocks and the fence, some of the shadow of the trees in the tree line in the very back. But I don't know if that'll actually show up in my composition. Coming back here, I'm going to do the dirt then. Now that I have the violet, I'm going to do some of the dirt here. So that's underneath. That's a burnt sienna and blue. Just kind of, again, sketching in, establishing these broader shapes of the composition. The stone is going to clip just a little bit at the end of so if I grab blue, black, And white, this is the idea of the stone right through here. I neglected to put out my oleo gel, so that's going to be a little bit of a issue, but it's okay. Okay, so that's the stone. Then the dirt here. Then once I get that dark note, then I can see if I'm painting these two, the composition then is kind of, it's at a point where I need to indicate a little bit of that. So I'm going to take some Viridian and Cobalt Blue and some violet. Then that's where I'm going to be kind of hinting at those darks, those leaves that are down below of the cabbage. We'll grab this again here. So this is a leaf that comes up and over. There's a series of leaves up on top. And then the yellow, because it's showing through, remember the transmitted light that I was talking about? So that's some of that up there. Then it goes blue, again behind it, and then violet here. So these are the shapes of the leaves. And then the tomatoes are behind that. You can sit it up there if you're tired, on my shoulder. All right, so then the greens of the tomatoes are back there. Add a little bit of yellow and orange to that. And then switch brush. Beyond that is some of the background, which is like maybe some black. I'll move this over so that this can clip further down. All right, so now the background is up here. By the way, I love the Michael Harding Miracle Medium. You don't want to use a ton of it just because it's not like Gamsol. It's not that thin. It has a little bit more. They don't tell you what's in it. Hence the name. It's their secret miracle medium. But it's completely organic, and you can touch it and it doesn't affect you at all. So it's really nice for people who are sensitive to. All right, moving around, looking at, okay, so the way I organically kind of approach that is if this shape here was that leaf of the cabbage down there, then I go over and I look, okay, so then I kind of think, well, if the stone goes, I don't know what kind of stone that is, blue stone, I think. If it goes off the composition and this leaf is there, then there's not going to be room for much beyond that. The wood pile is, if I line up things as I'm analyzing it, this edge, then there's some of the blue leaves back there, but beyond that, I don't think you'll see it. I'm probably not going to be able to put it in. There's some of the wood maybe in back here. You can show Fanty hanging out. Hi, buddy. You find a good spot? All right. If the wood pile's back there, receiving a little bit of light, if this was a leaf of the cabbage, then getting into a little bit more specifics, because these broad gestural tones are good to a certain point, but I have to, so I'm covering the white of the canvas.
Are you gonna paint the tomato plant behind?
Yep, eventually. So this is just still, I focus in on like, so you see there is some activity here in this leaf of the cabbage, so I have to start chunking up basically kind of information. So it's like parts of the, it's putting something down, analyzing it, and kind of moving on and correcting it. If it's a certain shape or a color, then you have to fix it.
I'm gonna get close to the.
Yep.
We can see what you're painting. The wood back there.
All right. The wood pile in back is this here, so that's covering that. And then the green, what you're seeing back there for the tomatoes, that's just basically, I could add a note. It's in shadows. I'll add a note of like a little bit of the green there. A lot of these, like the plant that's coming up and the leaves that are going vertical, that's in shadow as well. So I keep going kind of dark on purpose because there's a rim light that eventually is gonna be seen, and I'm setting the composition up for that kind of rim light. So there's this fence that's back there, there's rocks, it goes this way. So the blue is just part of the underpainting, and the cabbage is really pretty. Yeah, so this stuff takes time. So the stem. All right, welcome back. So yeah, so I kept painting for about 10 minutes. Sun is quite warm out here, but I got the canvas, the little panel covered now, so you can have a look at it. I've gone through basically and established now. I have all of the values and everything working in harmony. I have my colors, continue to mix my colors and find more of the colors in the scene. That helps me establish like organization and rhythm throughout the piece. Oh look, we have our friends here. Hey Jack. Hey guys. Those are our Sebastopol geese. Fanty's doing a good job just hanging out over there. Hey bud. Okay, so the cabbage is really beautiful. We got these darks still down here that I'm kind of, so I have organization on them. The brushes too, I'm looking at like kind of a couple of them. You know, I have a big one that was in the darks. I have some that are untouched. This one is the one I've been using for some of the detail. My rag is still down here. You can see how I have my rag in my hands.
Which number of the brush you're using?
Oh, there are different numbers all the time. So
Number
not
two.
not to like belittle that, but I could go through all the numbers and it really wouldn't matter. Just what's important is this is big and this is smaller. And it allows me to get a different brush stroke, right? That's what we're concerned with. The like the vine, I don't know if it's a vine or a root or what, but the trunk. is there. And then I can see, as I triangulate, I can see some kind of smaller shapes. So I'm just looking at like a shape of the form of the leaf of this one to the left. And basically, I start to kind of just divide up the picture like a puzzle. In this, yeah, so that's this cross section right here. So I divide it up like a puzzle, and then the vein. Remember we had talked about the vein. So that vein comes up this way. And there's a little bit of bounce light bumping up here. So that's like reflected light. You see the vein, and then you see the reflected light. And then I'm slowly trying to figure out like the transmitted light is this section through here. That's the light coming through the leaf that we discussed at the very opening of the. But then as I start to look through, I try to figure out, okay, so I have this underpainting still that's nice. It gives kind of life to it, but it's not exactly what's up there. So I have to decide like how to develop it and keep the freshness. That's always a challenge. And I don't know yet. That's part of like that's how I'm just thinking about it and thinking about those different components. I had put in that little green note there, but I think it's actually a bit more dark violet. So I can grab some blue and magenta and put that in, because on this side, the green actually is bouncing up a lot more. So that greenish blue is, I could go way higher actually in value, just because I'm kind of painting into the shadow. So I need that kind of momentum, or there's a lot of ambient light from these rocks. So the light comes down, bounces off these rocks, and it hits. Careful, Fanti. There's bees all over the place. So. We have this bumblebee right here coming right at my feet. All right, don't move around too much. You'll make people dizzy with the filming here. Hey, bud, no, don't play with the bee, dude. Come here. The violet and brown, I can use that to establish some of the dirt back here. And now my angle of my stone is actually a bit more abrupt. So I'm going to create a bit of a angle like that. And then there's light coming through, so that light is warm. I'm going to take some orange. First time I've used orange in the composition. And the light busts through this way and hits here. Anything I can do to kind of start to tell the story of that light coming and filtering into the piece is going to be important.
Is that the miracle medium that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This blue violet back here. And then there's the vein running this way. There's the vein going up that way.
Miracle medium be substitute from the gamsol?
Yep. It can be your main medium, actually. It's just, again, you have to be careful, like kind of how much goes into the paint versus. And Michael Harding says that, you can't just like soak it on. You want to understand kind of proportion of paint to medium mixture. All right, if I can get the drawing a little bit better, this comes up. Then through here, again, still some of these darks back there. I'm going to take some brown and blue. It's getting warm out, so I don't know if the camera is going to be able to sustain much longer. I put that dark in. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but the dark is for the dirt. Then I'm going to come back and kind of try to finish up the trunk. Trunk is kind of violet. And you get a few more of the stems. I mean the veins. Terminology. Alright, so this big vein, then you get some of that green that's... If I can get the transmitted light, that'll be a success here.
A miracle.
A miracle, yes. Let me see here. Alright, so this is the ambient light that's hitting that. And then, okay, so the green... Let's see if I can... That is a little bit kind of coming through here. These are where it's traveling through the... Oops, that's too yellow, so I have to put some... Because it's actually not... it's not really yellow like... Yeah. Thanks, Nelly. So this part here... let's see, so I'm trying to establish some of the light that's actually hitting it then. The lightest light, that's the rim light that we talked about at the very beginning. Then over there, it's going to be this, goes up. Yeah, there's a front row seat. It's as close as you can get to my painting. All right, let's see. Now some violets over there. I mean, it's got a good feel to it. I'm happy with over there. So this, actually, oh, it's getting warm. I think it stopped. That's recording. Great. Okay, let's try to finish this up quick. Quick is the exaggeration. I mean, you should work on these things longer, but given the time frame. Okay. Well, what I have is just like a suggestion of that light that's now hitting it as direct sunlight on the leaf. What I want to do is kind of make that feel as though it's more just part of the actual cabbage leaf. I'll just go into a couple spots. This one can go kind of, I can repaint that because that's now in shadow, so that's there, so that's in shadow. This one is the one that's behind here, so I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and green and I'm going to put that there because that's got the transmitted light as well. That's different than this one, but this is all like a lot of information for a very quick period. So I soften that. Some of this stuff comes in. Okay, so this is probably fine. There's a little bit of a suggestion of some of this color. Back there, okay, so the cabbage, good. Okay, so now I'm gonna get some of that rim light again. Right here on top, even though I don't see it like super strong. I'm just gonna indicate it because I wanna, it's almost like accentuating a line in drawing or something. I just wanna make sure that that edge is pronounced along the, and then this goes down darker actually, because that's behind, and it goes more chromatic. Each step of the way I'm identifying information and painting it. So then it starts to come together. It's a, like I said, it's a slow process, but if you identify each spot and paint it as good as you possibly can, and then it comes together and it starts to look like your scene. So I'm gonna keep going here just a little bit longer and then we'll sign off. So this one here, the shape goes back, and then I got some, I could do some of the transmitted light there as well. And then in back, you have, again, you have the tomatoes back here. Some of the lavender, haven't put that in yet. That's way back here. So there's some of the lavender. And then the tomatoes over there, kind of hanging out. I haven't done much on those either. But those are...
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Thanks, babe, for that confirmation. There is.
There's also the sweet peas in front of the
You're thinking about all
lavender.
the stuff I'm not seeing. Where the sweet peas? Oh, that's back here, these little things? Yeah. It's funny. So yeah, that's some sweet peas there. And then the tomato up here still. And then those dark violets, I'm going to put some, and then we'll be done with this. Oops, that was too much. I want to put those like tops. I don't know if that was good, but...
There's a holy basil.
Holy basil. Okay. I think that's it. I think I'm going to call it quits.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. So that's how I use the palette.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one.